What is up, guys? It is your favorite Otaku Lotus here today, and welcome back to the Nerd Corner. And in today's video, I want to give you my episode 4 review for Orange. And I gotta tell you that this has to be my own personal favorite episode thus far, and that's mainly because of the music. Yes, the soundtrack from start to finish in this episode was absolutely phenomenal, and I enjoyed every single song immensely. And you guys know how I am when it comes to music, very passionate about it. It means a lot to me, and I just feel like a good OST can just really elevate an anime and make me love it a lot more. And that's really how I felt about this episode, especially for the first 5 or 7 minutes where you had this really soft, this really gentle guitar strumming, and there was no other instruments playing. It was just the strumming of guitar, and it was just very simple, but it was very elegant, and I just really loved it. And it just gave me this vibe that reminded me of like Fooly Cooly, like the first episode of Fooly Cooly, where Naoto and Mimi are down by the river, and then later on in the episode when they're on the bridge. That's just the vibe that I got from it. It's not to say that FLCL is similar to this in any way, or that anything about these scenes that I was thinking of were similar, but that's just the kind of vibe I got from it, and just put this huge smile on my face and just really made me get more emotionally and mentally invested in this episode and this series as a whole. Just because, if you guys know me, if you've been subscribed, you already know FLCL is my favorite anime of all time. So anything that makes me think of that, I'm just going to love it a lot more, and it's just gonna make my day. And that's just how I felt about this. So when we saw, Naho talking with Kakeru's grandmother in the beginning with the rest of her friends, and she recognizes them and remembers all their names, it just really made me smile, because it was a very simple scene, but I don't know, something about it was just really beautiful, and I just really liked it. And then later on in the episode, we see Naho she started avoiding Kakeru, and she's doing this because Kakeru has a girlfriend now who is Ueda senpai, which, by the way, a lot of people seem to really dislike. And later on in the episode, I kind of figure out why, but it seems like basically people are calling her out her name, calling her a bitch, and saying how much they hate her and all this and that. And I'm like, whoa, hold up, what's so bad about Ueda? Because last episode she didn't seem like she was so bad, and then even in most of this episode I was like, I don't see what the big deal is. But I guess I was waiting the entire time for her to show her true colors, and just based on what everyone was saying, I was expecting a lot worse. So even though she did pull some pretty ridiculous stunt later on, I was like, you need to calm the fuck down. I still don't think that she's anywhere near as bad as people say. Maybe it gets worse. I won't be surprised if it definitely gets worse. I can imagine her starting to pick on Naho or something, but I guess we'll see when that comes. But yeah, we see Naho is avoiding Kakeru. She's like scared to even approach him or talk to him. When he calls out to her name, she literally runs away, like running at top speed. And that's somewhat unrealistic, but it's funny because she does explain to him like why she stopped doing everything, because apparently she stopped making him lunches. She doesn't call him to wake him up in the morning anymore, and understandably so, because if I was flirting with a girl, or I was in that what they call the talking stage, which I think is kind of stupid, but you guys all know what I mean. If you're in that teenage young adult range, what talking is, quote unquote. But if I was in the talking stage with a girl or whatever, and then I got with a girl, some other girl, I wouldn't expect her to continue to make me lunch, or waking me up in the morning, or even sending me a good morning text or anything like that. So it's definitely understandable and realistic in that aspect. And I know there are some people that are like, oh, I never understand how like these characters, they distance themselves unrealistically, and I'm just like, nah, it really be like that sometimes, like, because I've seen it, I've experienced it. Like, you could be talking to someone all the time, you guys could seem really, really close, but nothing ever happens, nothing ever comes of it, and then someone gets in a relationship with someone else, and you guys just fall off. It's like you never even existed. It's like you never spoke to each other before, and it's a shame, because we see that Kakeru definitely, he still wants to be friends with Naho, and of course we can all know, if you've read the manga, and for the majority of us, we can assume that Kakeru has feelings for Naho. I mean, it's obvious that they're going to be there's a love interest between the two, so we know he has feelings for her, and he probably loves Naho, or is interested in Naho much more than Ueda, and then that kind of gets revealed later on. But Naho, she's like scared to death to say anything to him. He calls out her name, she runs away. He says that there's some things he's got to talk about, but anytime Ueda senpai shows up, she just turns tail and takes off. And I don't really understand why that is. Like, I can understand, not really wanting to, trying to distance yourself from him, both out of respect and both kind of like out of disappointment and sadness, because, he's with this girl and you like him. But to the point of literally running away, like, I don't know, I didn't really get that. And I was just like, why are you running? Like, it's not, I don't know, it's kind of frustrating to watch, but it's definitely, entertaining to watch. It's definitely making for a good story thus far. And then we see that Ueda actually does, have a little bit of a dark side to her, because she purposely bumps into Naho later on in the hallway and actually knocks her down. And then she spazzes like hella hard on Kakeru. She's like, it's all your fault. You're always talking to this girl. Nah, 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 I'm a jealous bitch. And I'm just like, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere. But at the same time, I was also, I was frustrated with Naho because she's not doing what the letter says. And I understand that emotionally it's kind of difficult to do some of the things she's being asked to do, but it can't be that hard. I mean, responding to him when he calls out your name, if the dude says, hey Naho, I want to talk to you real quick, like, yo, running away, doing the furthest like the most opposite thing you could possibly do from doing what the letter told you to do, like, I don't get why you would do that. Like, I understand, being nervous, and then she does go on this like whole little rant about, well, not really a rant, but she's talking to herself as she's running away, like, it's so easy for my future self to tell me that she regrets this and that I need to do that, but you're talking from the future. It's a lot harder when I'm actually here trying to do it, but I am doing my best. And I'm like, you don't seem to be doing your best to me. It's like you're doing everything in your power not to do your best to follow the instructions of the letter, but it is what it is. Hopefully things will all work out in the end. Well, I don't know. I'd actually, what, if this story ends like on a low note, like it has a very sad and depressing ending, I'd be perfectly okay with that. But I'm currently of the mindset that everything will work out in the end. This is going to have a happy ending, but I don't know, because I haven't read the manga, and I don't want anyone to tell me if it has a happy or sad ending. I want to, experience that for myself, but we'll see how that goes. And then towards the end of the episode, we have this really nice conversation between Suwa and Naho, where Suwa steps in and he's being like a real homie, both to Kakeru and Naho. He's talking to Naho alone. He's like, Kakeru's like, he's been real bummed out. He's been trying to talk to you, but you always run away. And I'm just here to tell you, you don't have to keep running away. Like, it's okay to talk to him. We're all friends, and there's no reason for you to run away. And he can't talk to you if you do. So that gives her a bit of a confidence boost. She thanks him. Suwa's definitely showing that he is, the man around town. That he is best boy, as some people have been calling him, even though I still think it's funny and kind of grimy that Kakeru dies and he knocks her up, but I'm still waiting for an explanation behind that, like. But yeah, Suwa definitely showed that he's a good friend in this episode, and gives Naho the confidence to go run and track down Kakeru, and he actually gets his chance to talk to her. He says that he doesn't remember what he called out to her for, what he wanted to say. I think that's definitely a lie. I know goddamn well he knew what he wanted to say to her, and he's like, nah, I just don't really feel like saying it now. But he does talk to her, and he's like, I've been thinking about breaking up with Ueda because there's someone else I like more. And then Naho surprisingly jumps straight to, like, are you in love with this person? I'm like, whoa, not even like, damn, we just jumping straight into the tough questions, right? Like, are you in love with this person? Like, that's a pretty big leap from him saying he was interested to saying he's in love. But, he does this, like, I don't know, that's a secret. And then he runs off, and I'm like, really, bro? But, yeah, he runs off into the distance. I guess he goes home. And basically, he's hinting towards the fact that, he does have feelings for Naho. Now, whether or not she actually interpreted that and understood the fact that he meant he was talking about her, because he was, somewhat vague about it, but I would think anyone with half a mind and a decent amount of social intelligence could have realized that he meant her. I don't know. Maybe she's just as oblivious as... I don't know. Maybe she's just really that oblivious. But I guess we'll find out, hopefully, in the next episode. So those are all my thoughts for this episode. I really enjoyed it. As I said before, this episode has to be my favorite thus far, simply because of the music. Not only just that, this was a really good episode. It was solid. It was just as solid as the last week, but the music set this one over the edge for me. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you still watching the series? Are you enjoying the series? Do you have any comments, questions, concerns about my reviews? Definitely be sure to follow me on Twitter, where we can interact. I'll leave a link in the description down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you guys can stay tuned for all the awesome content I'm bringing you. With all that being said, that's pretty much all I have for today. So I will catch you guys next time. Later.